to another edition of X Feed. What's up? My name's the Schiller. We go live typically Monday through Friday. Yeah, and listen, we're not going to talk about me not going live yesterday. I apologize. I just had a massive headache, and I was thinking about doing it super late, and then I was like, we'll just do one today, and we'll have some fun with it. So, title of this video, I'm trading NFTs for Pokemon cards. Here is the proof that I'm out there buying the cards. This is Lapras first. You see that little bubble there? The first edition. It's reminded me why I ended up loving Top Shot so much in the beginning. Now, at the time, this was a couple of years ago, I bought a whole bunch of packs from NBA Hoops. There was a couple of these Panini ones as well. Trying to find a buyer for them. If you happen to know anybody, again, but specifically Canadian would be fantastic. But I'm wanting to trade some of that stuff because it's like, you know what? In the moment, I was into doing NBA cards and all that other kind of stuff. But, I'm kind of feeling the Pokemon vibes. And it's reminded me why blockchain technology is going to be so fundamentally insane. Going around to these different stores, sifting through binders, went to a pawn shop. We had Buddy that was trying to sell like a broken system, and it went with his dad like it was a father and son, right? And the kid's just like, I'll take literally whatever. And the dad's trying to milk as much money as possible from it. They have like this broken headset. They're looking for like $5 for this game system that they said didn't have an HDMI cord. I'm like, what the hell is going on? People are in there buying a whole bunch of stuff, and it's cool. It's exciting, but the ease of transfer for these kind of things, and even finding first edition cards in Canada feels like a pain. So if anybody's got any links, if anybody's got any stores, feel free to let me know. If they ship to Canada, well, damn it, I might be interested. And further to that, it's making me kind of realize something, right? It's making me realize a little something special here where, hey, this guy is trying to flip through or rip packs of a whole bunch of different Pokemon collections. Well, what's his profile picture? A pudgy penguin. Before, early stages of NFTs, we used to get excited and just paid attention to people because of the fact that they were involved in something that we were, right? Just owning the same NFT. But things open up a little bit when we have that quote unquote mass adoption that everybody is looking towards, and saw that on my timeline and thought, let me save that and bring it up on the show. Now, speaking of collections and whatnot, we did highlight the other day how I got kind of like a fraction or a part ownership in one of the watches on Segment, which again, check the comment below for the full podcast which I had with Jake. But Richard Millwatch here, 517,000 digitally authenticated. It's starting to seep through in everything when people are feeling like they want to collect things again. The digital authenticity, I think, is going to play a huge part. Now, last week, we did highlight a lot about the different celebrities that have been launching meme coins. I don't know if this is because we had people that were, what's the right term? The U.S. government kind of was like, hey, after the ETH ETF approval, it felt like there was a switch for everybody that was like, okay, the whole sector, we can kind of do whatever. And I might be totally wrong with this. They might have just had the opportunity, talked with the right people. Things are starting to come back up again. But Trippy Red, of all people, now apparently getting on board with that. Now, again, PorkJet is minting over on the Root Network. Going to be interesting to see how the network grows for this. This is one of their first mints. Again, chain doesn't have like a whole lot going on right now unless you are buying things for racers or boxers, and you need a couple of different NFTs. But having this mint sell out, which it looks like it's on pace to do so, will be very interesting. It sounds like they're wanting to give some of the proceeds to help further other people or help fund other people that are going to build on the network. Right now, I broke it down, and it's like 130K that end up making if they end up selling out at current Root prices. But of course, everybody be bullish on Root. Well, not everybody, but your favorite streamer. It's got so much going on. I mean, so I think the problem with it is that like there's things that are going on, but it's not really gotten anybody's attention. And like, I'm a huge Futureverse maxi, but I ain't seen anybody playing boxers that aren't already in the ecosystem. Same for racers, the AI League. They talk about so many downloads for it, but I mean, there's like 5 to 10 people I feel like within the community that play it. Gods and Goblins have been super quiet, but after they nerfed the rewards for it, like I'm not even playing it. Like I think there's a lot of things that are being built right now, but there's not a lot of people that are doing a whole lot except for, you know, potentially arbing, minting these things and waiting for some of the activations. But correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm always down, but I'm glad you're here, Tribe Say. Now, continuing the talk with Futureverse, apparently Walkerworld and Futureverse is doing a block party. I have no idea what this means, to be totally honest. I'm going to guess and say, well, let me read it right quick. An exciting event is just around the corner, bringing together your favorite projects to celebrate in preparation of some big BIG news. We've cooked up something special in cooperation with Futureverse. 10 days of activities are coming up with brand new rewards and challenges each day. Now, at one point, I'm trying to remember, I feel like Futureverse did some kind of like 12 days of Christmas at a point, and with this, I mean, that was like a while ago, right? Obviously, it's not Christmas right now, but when they're talking about like a block party, are they saying like for these activities, it's going to be giveaways? Is it stuff that's actually experiences within these worlds? I have no idea, but it's cool to see that they're kind of leading up to a bigger launch and saying, hey, there's a bunch of these things that are about to be activated. High learning curve if you want to use it. Yeah, for sure. 100%. Okay, and during Consensus, this was the trailer that Futureverse ended up launching, talking about the Readyverse. This is very interesting. If I was going to give you a couple of points to notice while it happened, I thought that the wearables, the accessories, all the goods and whatnot within the video looked better than the avatars. I thought there was a huge emphasis on the AI aspect, and I think that at the same time, I felt like I wanted like a little bit more to explain kind of what the purpose of some of like the locations were. But here, let's see what you guys think of it. Nope, we're not playing that again. But there you go. Again, I guess like as someone who's like heavily into the ecosystem, I'm having questions, I suppose, of like, okay, like we know that things are supposed to build things. We know that like we're gonna have burrows and whatnot, but I would love just to know like a little bit more of the implementation of these things, because you see that and you're like, okay, that's awesome, but for those generating of furniture, am I going to need to have to pay Asto? Am I going to have to pay some charge? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's always these thoughts that go in your mind of like you see everything and you're trying to like reverse engineer how exactly it breaks down. I think that it looks really good. I think, you know, rewatching it that time, my comment about the avatars, I think, is like doubled down in terms of like that bored ape. The head on it looked a little weird, but I thought like the Parsival avatar looked really cool in Standstill. But again, those wearables looked so high quality that I'm like, okay, like that's cool that it's got this kind of like better look to it. Yo, RDL, how are you? Do you collect Pokemon cards? Listen, we are going to get everybody into first edition Pokemon cards. You can still buy. Listen, I bought a first edition Lapras. Have you guys ever seen Pokemon and they have Lapras and it like saves Ash and them on like one of those on the Pokemon movie? $14.99 Canadian. Unbelievable. You think that thing's at least $20 Canadian? You know, do I want a $20 Canadian bill or do I want a $14.99 first edition Lapras? All right, this is just random, but totally agree. Summer body goals, ripped. Current situation, frigged up haircut, a little chunky. True. Hello, here are some recent developments regarding Valhalla. Oh my God, we were ripping on this the other day, being like, why? I don't understand why certain collections go on like huge silent periods. I think that you would be surprised, because I mean, all of this is about building a brand, right? And some that people recognize and like. And I think in the likes of Pudgy Penguins, with them doing such a focus on people doing the GIFs and whatnot, I thought that was phenomenal. I see those used everywhere and people just want to like react to things and have some kind of, you know, I guess vibe, for lack of a better term. But it feels like a lot of collections just kind of go silent and then randomly pop up with some news. And Valhalla, after 2 months of silence, are speaking. And apparently it rose the price of the NFTs too. So new, they have a battle pass. We've expedited our timeline for building on-chain products that will yield rewards for our community. Based on community feedback, we'll also be completely redesigning and engineering our battle plan from the ground up. Now, just to clarify as well, because I realize some people might be tuning in that aren't familiar with what Valhalla is, they were a collection that was working on building a blockchain integrated streaming platform, similar to how people say or view on Kick, Twitch, YouTube. Everyone's trying to take a piece of the pie for the gaming content creators, yada yada yada. And then they seem like they pivoted to creating like just gaming merchandise, and so like this is one of their fancy keyboards for that. So that's your TLDR. In our prior iteration, we allowed holders to mint their rewards because we believed it embodied digital ownership and thus the spirit of crypto. In retrospect, the experiment was not a net benefit for our holders. Portability of rewards removed the incentive and locked in users for lock-in for users to hold after they minted their crates. Because of this, we've studied the NFT majors that have successfully implemented something similar and will use their structure as foundation. A whole bunch of other things. Keyboard, yes, the keyboard is massively delayed. Son of a bitch. I mean, we saw Ledger Stacks delayed, what, like over a year, and now they're suddenly shipping, so yeah. The TLDR is that our boards have been stuck in queue for 2 months at the anodizer, prevents the metal from rusting. Our manufacturing partners have incredibly high quality standards, so it's been tough trying to make compromises in quality in exchange for speed. Again, why sell these things if they're not ready? That's my 2 cents. Once complete, we intend to give away a significant portion of the keyboards to our community for free. Okay, banger. There you go. I appreciate the patience our holders have shown to me and the team. I remain excited about the products that we're about to release in Q3 and Q4, and we'll be sure to post updates that are more frequent and concise than this one. Okay, now you got your Valhalla update. Just a quick little mention. If you guys like this, please give me a like, share it with a friend. Absolutely love it. Okay. Alex Becker here saying everything altcoin will likely keep bleeding or stay flat until we see an $81,000 plus Bitcoin. The S&P must also continue up. Not much to do or say till then. Sorry for the lack of crypto content. I just find the market devastatingly boring at the moment. All there is to do is keep an eye on it and do nothing. I don't see reckless confidence returning till we cleanly pass the 8K mark. So the market's kind of boring, and Schiller's buying Pokemon cards. Listen, to be honest, not wrong. Not friggin' wrong. Consensus 2024. Again, that trailer we played earlier from Futureverse was from the Consensus panel. A lot of people at Consensus. Everybody was talking there. Kathy Wood, Brad Garlinghouse, the list goes on and on and on. CoinDesk did streams like the entire time. I think they're still live right now. I'm assuming it's still going on. I don't actually know. But Mike Dudas saying Consensus 2024 is the first crypto conference I've been to in ages where the serious people are having fun. We are so unbelievably back. It is absolutely exhilarating. It does feel like things are starting to turn in the more positive direction. Again, seeing some of the bigger tokens have a little bit of a bump up in price comparatively to a couple of months ago always does help with sentiment in that regard. But of course, the builders that have gotten funded beforehand have been working away, and now we get to see all of that funny stuff. Very interesting info about Blast wash trading. More than 60% of the trading volume on Blast NFTs on Blur is wash trading, which accounts for 30% of all transactions. Blast Gold farmers have engaged in over $120 million in wash trading over the past 30 days. And Boshi's saying this is why no one buys NFTs on Blast. It's the easiest fade. Now, just like as a part of this, because I know there's a lot of people that are really into Blast and farming it, like I haven't really jumped into it. And to be totally transparent, the only reason for that is because, again, I've kind of just not been doing too much. Like here and there, I'm looking at things, try to stay somewhat informed, you know what I mean, as we're kind of like broadly looking at the space. But, you know, if it doesn't interest you, like, you know, it doesn't interest you type deal. But my thought with reading this is, damn, like if you're an NFT project, what do you need to do to get like a huge amount of Blast or Blast Gold? Because that was for these collections before, right? And the ability that they have to kind of be like, hey, we're going to like just do something. We're going to give back to the community. And then they just like all buy their own NFTs. Then when the Blast Gold goes out, they get to like farm it. And then it's, you know, it's kind of a weird system of like I totally get why people are calling like the Ponzi aspect of things, because the question is like how many real things are being built from the NFT side of things? Because from the protocol, it seems like there's a lot, but of course with NFTs, you can get away with a heck of a lot. Luca Nets is excited to enter the mobile game arena with Play Mythical. Now, why is this important? For anybody that doesn't know, Pudgy Penguins is a big brand within the space. Crazy floor price, basically the same as Bored Apes that way, but arguably with a little bit more mainstream attraction. Them going with Mythical Games, these are the guys who do NFL Rivals, who's apparently had like 1 million plus players and one of the most touted or respected games, I suppose, within the Web3 space. So very, very interesting to see that them partnering up there, and that kind of, you know, I thought that partnership was major from my point of view, and I don't hold any pudgies. Okay, so Symbiogenesis. If you've been watching this stream for quite some time, we've brought up this collection often because it is from Square Enix. And most of the time, I kind of ripped on it because when you look at the body plates here, the body plates are like front-facing, and then the bodies are like curved. So it looks super wonky when you look at them, and I'm like, this is supposed to be Square Enix. What the hell is going on? But it looks like they are moving over to Arbitrum, or at least going to have some NFTs that are auctioned on Arbitrum. Interesting to see what kind of a big name can carry you within the space. So I didn't follow up with this, but I saved this because Nate Rivers found the star token that Paris Hilton had this video, and she got a whole bunch of celebrities saying, Paris, what's this thing you're talking about? And I'm just like, guys, what are we doing? But the star token got launched. I think it was actually a meme coin. Like if I look at Paris Hilton right quick, I can't believe I'm doing this. Unbelievable. Scrolling. Paris has announced her long-awaited second album. Okay, so people just made a meme coin thinking that Paris Hilton was going to drop a meme coin, and she dropped an album instead. Web3, an absolute shambles. News here from the block. FTX lawyers and advisors charged over $500 million in bankruptcy process so far. Yo, Ollie Dozo, if I gave you $500 million, would you do you know the right Pokemon cards to buy with that? Just asking out of curiosity. Square Enix sells their IP like it's trash. I mean, it just looks so bad quality for something, right? But the fact that it's Square Enix, I haven't seen anybody make those comments about the way that it looks, except for me. What the hell is going on? See, that's another thing that I'm debating with this Pokemon thing. I don't know if I can, because I mean, respectfully, I'm kind of buying like bottom of the thing, like bottom of the barrel type deals, because you can get these cards for like 50 cents, some of them $1, $2. Like, absolutely, that's worth more than a loony. But I've debated, do you get like the $75 to $150 range, get them graded, and just sit on them and see what happens. But Charizard is a good shout. But back to the point here, $500 million is insane. To think about potentially how much money could have gone. I mean, obviously everybody's kind of getting the money back from the situation. There was all those reports about FTX trying to relaunch as an exchange, which I feel like that, as weird as it sounds, is possible. To be honest, like I don't see why that wouldn't happen. With a whole new regulatory landscape kind of around things, and people suddenly feel safe with it. I mean, obviously FTX is like a joke in that way, but I don't like. I mean, you have new people step in, everything changes, the security practices, regulation, yada yada yada. I mean, it could happen. $500 million. Dozo, yeah, I collected a lot of sports cards and some Pokemon cards. Pretty easy grade, but gotta clean the cards well. But also, there's a lot of scams too. Have you ever sent that into PSA? I was looking at that, and it didn't seem like that expensive to go get cards graded. Okay, so Ricky Solana here at Trailer Park Bags, Trailer Park Boys. Good session. TV show, not a session. We not sit at TV for a session. That's unbelievable. But he was talking about the MasterCard implementation of them saying, hey, you can, use usernames and stuff instead of doing a wallet. And his comment here is totally true. Says credit card companies are now just cool with all this. Pretty sure a few months back, I tried using my credit card for pre-sale purchases and it denied me because it was due to cryptocurrency. Definitely happened to me as well. Absolutely hysterical that all these companies are suddenly being like, it's fine. Now, for argument's sake, we could say that as we've seen the landscape change just a wee little bit, I don't feel like there's been any mass like bills or changes apart from that ETH ETF. But since that ETH ETF, it does feel like there is kind of a little bit more leniency. And I mean, I think MasterCard has been kind of crypto positive over the last little bit. I don't know if it's like the banks that are attached to some of these MasterCards having issues, but it is really weird, kind of this like about face, if you will. Yeah, I've used PSA a lot. They used to be hell expensive, but they've lowered the gate to let a lot of people. Okay, so what do you mean by like cleaning cards, by the way? What do I need to do to send these in? I'm going to get this Lapras graded. I got a couple other ones I can show you guys here too as well. You look great, by the way. There is some brightness to your face. You lose some weight. Yo, we stopped ordering Papa John's Shakaronis every single day. Unbelievable what that does to you. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. But thank you, sir. So yesterday, there was a mass happening within the esports realm, and I'm going to connect this to Web3 because it just feels like it's the same thing. So Optic, FaZe, and 100 Thieves. Those are three major brands within the esports realm, and they came together to do a tournament. Just kind of facing off again, kind of the big collaboration, I suppose, even though it was like supposed to be a tournament, but they did a lot of, funny memes at the Spider-Man with all the founders looking at each other saying you, and it just reminded me of the way that we keep talking about Web3 and how all of these collections are touting about the metaverse, interoperability, anybody can be anybody, yada, yada, yada. And it is making me also want to kind of double down on my thought that the space is for maxis, and that's okay. Because again, when you look at these three, there's going to be somebody that loves 100 Thieves, somebody that loves Optic, and somebody that loves FaZe, and they don't care an ounce about anything regarding the other teams, but they're, viewed at as competition and the rivalry as good. But when they come together, everybody loves what they produce in terms of like the games, the teams, And how can you make it work where everybody is into the same thing, but they're allowed to be maxis in their own right? That is the question. Little news coming out of Say here. Pallet is proud to share that $5.46 million worth of the Say token has been airdropped to their top NFT collections. So this is kind of interesting where we're seeing ecosystems helping out developers. This is not anything that's new per se. It feels like almost all these chains in their inceptions are trying to do something that's a little bit neat. But again, really cool to see that these collections are continuing to build on Say got couple mil split between each other. With grading, I think the best way to look to just look up a YouTube video, you'll want like a magnifying glass with a light and some microfiber cloth, like for cleaning glasses. If you don't really care what the grade is, then you don't have to get too serious. Otherwise, you can get a pretty good idea on what the grade of the card will be, looking at the corners, the centering in the back, and with the magnifying glass to look for imperfections on the front part of the card. I'm not going to lie. I was just going to fire it away without doing anything. So I'm hella glad that I brought this up on stream. So Mo Wagner from the NBA bought my first NBA Top Shot, and I had to go with Fonz Boogie, legendary moment. Okay, wait, hold on a second. This is Mo? Wait, I'm so confused. Go with the Franz Bogey. Is this different people? That's Mo Wagner, right? And he linked he linked his brother, Franz and Mo. I'm such a fish. For anybody that's are familiar with this, pretend that didn't happen. But again, starting to see players get into it. We saw this originally, but cool to see that players are kind of endorsing things that are to go on with Web3. Okay, Dozo, if you're still here, holy frig, this one's going to be a banger for you. So there has been an unbelievable amount of FUD within the Yugaverse lately, like unbelievable amount of FUD. And so there's this new Somnia network that they're basically pushing and saying, hey, we're doing everything with this. And I got several tweets to go over this experience. For this, again, as we've seen with like Blast and other ecosystems, there's points. And the idea is to get more points, the more airdrop you get eventually. And so for Codas, Bored Apes, Mutants, that are all a part of it. And it's just not gone well whatsoever. So here's all the complaints. The Metaverse browser software doesn't work. The avatar creation is so slow, I only got it to work after 30 attempts, and now the avatar is gone. Impossible to link wallets with Galaxy, leading to quests not being completed. Discord full of people complaining about the same issues. This is what Somnia Network and Zealy wants you to approve to earn points for Yuga assets. Respectfully, you can F off. Ridiculous. And what they're asking for through Twitter, see tweets from your timeline, see your Twitter information and account settings, see accounts you follow, mute and block, follow and unfollow accounts for you, update your profile and account settings, post and delete tweets for you and engage with tweets posted by others, create, manage, and delete lists and collections for you, mute, block, and report accounts for you. Okay, so they can basically do anything. Why the hell? Why is that even a thing? Why would they need access to that? We've seen where these lists of like what they're able to do is like one or two things, but that's like 7 more things here. Initial impressions, avatar creator is slow, broken, and looks legit terrible. While the connection process is buggy and frustrating, this was not ready for the public. Terrible interface. Did the faucet deal, then tried to link my wallet. Not enough ETH. Very bad first impression. And don't tell me to read the instructions if I can't do it with my eyes closed. It is trash. Jeff McDonald here is saying, looks safe, just ignore warning messages. Their instructions say click download, launch the installer, click more info in Windows screen, then click run anyway. You may see a red warning message. Ignore it. Log into Metaverse browser. And this is interesting, and I don't take this with a grain of salt because I don't know if this is verified. This is just something I thought that was kind of interesting. Somnia is basically an Improbable spinoff. And Improbable was the big company that Yuga was using for their world. And then it felt like there was some kind of falling out or something. And then they started building from the ground up. And now they're partnering with them again. I don't really get it. But anyway, that's Improbable. So spinoff that they structured to launch their own blockchain and token. This was one of the reasons Daniel Allegre, who is the former CEO from Blizzard Activision, didn't want to work with Improbable. Yuga promised to push Somnia hard as the best blockchain ever as part of the renewed deal. So this kind of brings up the conversation around the future being omni-chain, multi-chain, et cetera, et cetera. And if you have success within the industry right now, what comes with that? Well, in this case, for the Somnia network, depending on Yuga Labs' needs, how do they end up for there? Because legitimately, I had never heard of Somnia Network whatsoever until Yuga was a part of it. Now, it might be completely from the ground up and Yuga's trying to incubate it and they have like certain deals, et cetera, but it is just kind of I don't know. It feels weird when you're seeing something that's a part of something so major that seems to have kind of come out of nowhere. Now, with all that being said, a little bit of Yuga FUD, this is true, where they highlighted so many different products that are being built by people that own Bored Apes. Unbelievable, from several different brewing companies, Bored Jerky, Happy Dad, beverages, munchies, kebabs, everything. People are really building within the ecosystem, and that's cool, but it does feel like there's just these constant things that don't really end up going well, and we'll get more to some things with the Super Punk World that came out today that has caused all sorts of FUD on the timeline. Some news that Go Gala with their music, they're dropping something with Snoop Dogg and Death Row Records. Where the hell has Snoop Dogg been? He did the Sandbox avatars. He's done all these different things. And it just, I don't know. I always thought that it felt a bit much, but I guess Snoop Dogg is like the perfect quote unquote mass adoption person, I guess. I don't really know the right phrasing for that, but Gala music doing something. We'll see what happens with music on chain. So the super punk world has caused more uproar as per usual. Try to spell that. I don't know how to spell per usual. Like per US? No, per us? No, how do you spell per usual? Like per usual. Let me know. Okay, so Yuga will send their attorneys after you if you don't pay the royalties for their new super punk NFT collection. Sorry, what? This is down in the section below. It says, however, if for any reason the full amount due to the resale royalty is not deducted and paid, for example, if some or all of the applicable purchase price is paid outside the blockchain, in addition to any other available remedies, we will be entitled to recover the full unpaid amount of the resale royalty along with any attorney fees and other costs reasonably incurred to enable such recovery. To terminate and suspend the non-commercial license until full payment is received, and to obtain injunction or other equitable relief in any applicable jurisdiction. Now, this feels like something that you would just like put in there to scare the shit out of people. You know, those like no trespassing signs, or the locals only when a road's closed and you still go down it anyway because you're just you. I feel like that's supposed to scare away certain people and like not have that, but this has caused an unbelievable uproar. Yo, Harry, we got him right here, brother. Listen, I'm almost done. Remind me in like 2 minutes. So that's part of it, right? And then, so Beanie comes out and says, as if the vibe around the woke CryptoPunk Super World collection couldn't get any worse, you better not OTC or NFT without promptly paying Yuga. Absolutely forbidden. And then scrolling down here, Camel went and found the Wolf game terms of service and highlighting how that's kind of mentioned as well. The verbiage is really different though. So royalty, you acknowledge and agree that we receive 6.9% of every subsequent sale of Wolf royalty. For example, if you were in the initial purchaser and you sell a Wolf for $100 to subsequent purchaser, the company is owed $6.9. Sellers of Wolves are required to either use a third-party NFT marketplace like OpenSea or LooksRare that automatically pays 6.9% royalty to the company, or send 6.9% royalty to wolfgame.eth. That's so wild to think about, people like sending a royalty like directly to an address for doing an OTC deal. But I feel like these are the terms and conditions kind of listed on everything. But that last one about like, yeah, we're going to like sue you is a little bit much. Magarga here chiming in on all of the FUD of the day, saying we get 0% of any rev or royalties on the collection. Hadn't seen those terms and wouldn't use that language on things we do alone. So there is, he's addressed it. Generally agree. Okay, so top NFTs ranked by market cap. Only one in the billions, and that's Pudgy Penguins at 365 million. That puts Pengs at around 215 for coin market cap. So this is why I am changing my tune slightly regarding NFTs. I still think they're super cool. Again, turning into collectors, but there's a lot of ones that just don't have any reason for you to collect other than, having that provenance, that extra value? Is there anything that's a part of it? Because when we look at the fact that the top and one of the top NFTs has that kind of a market cap, it's insane. It's insane. Because, and sorry, like as I'm going through here, I thought that they were talking about Pudgy's only being the top one. So CryptoPunks are at 1.2 billion. Bored Apes are at 500 million, and then Pudgy Penguins are at 365 million market cap, which again, for them, 215 on the chart. And so that highlights like there's 200 tokens. If you were just going to buy a token, not an NFT, that has a higher market cap. So I'm just like, okay, I think NFTs can do well for sure. But I mean, these tokens, holy geez, can they do exponentially better? Absolutely exponentially better. Okay, Harry, you want to see the Pokemon cards? Let's get to the Pokemon cards. And again, if anybody's got recommendations for stores in the States, trying to find stuff online here in Canada is kind of interesting. Okay, so we got the first edition Lapras here, $14.99. This one's like probably one of the most expensive ones. I always loved the unknowns. I thought that episode with them forever as a kid was amazing. So we got one of the rainbow ones there for $14.99. This is technically the first Charizard right here. One of the EXs. I think this is one of like the special arts, $9.99. Pretty sure that's from like Obsidian Fates. And then back, these ones are almost all exclusively first editions here. Dawn Fan, $9.99. Do you want a $10 Canadian bill or do you want a first edition Dawn Fan card? I had a collection of Pokemon cards and I think I traded some of them away. I don't know if we even have any of them because again, I went through like, you go through, I don't really care to, you know what? I kind of like him later in life. And so I found this Entei card, and this Entei was one of my favorites ever. And for $7.99, listen, we're back. We got it again. Unbelievable. We got a first edition Golbat here. Look at that, $4.99 again, Canadian. So for you guys, that's like $3. These are, again, I thought the first editions were going to be like minimum $10 a pop. So for me, this feels like not too bad. We got a first edition Eevee here. $4.99. Unbelievable. You ever had the three-headed bird? Didrio, $4.99. Unbelievable for a three-headed bird. We got one of the OGs. You can get a Squirtle first edition. A Squirtle first edition for $4.99. Unbelievable. And then we got a Gold Duck for $4.99 as well. And then last within this here, we got one of the Gravelers for $4.99. Unbelievable. All those first edition Pokemon cards. Crazy. And it's weird. It's just, it's given me kind of a fresh breath on things as I've not really collected anything or really cared to, watch sports here and there, watch Twitch here and there, stream here and there. But getting into something you kind of feel passionate about, it's exciting. And I hope that you guys have something that you find fun. And I am playing Pokemon Go as well. So if anybody's doing raids, you want to invite me, you absolutely can. But that's going to be it for this edition of X-Feed, highlighting Pokemon cards in the world of NFTs. How absolutely unbelievable. You know what I mean? Yo, Holly Doza, Mr. Harry Swan, Tribe say RDL. I appreciate you guys coming on through and sheesh. Excited for the weekend and hope you guys are too, because it is Friday, right? I realized on Monday I started the stream by saying that it was a Friday stream. Keck W. Again, if you guys enjoy this, would love for you to like it, share it, send it to a friend. Appreciate you. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk.